all of the conversation. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay. So, how are you?
Not too bad. Good.
Okay. I can see you very happy. You are with your dogs having a walk on the beach. So, how do you feel before we start with this? And what's your name?
Yeah, David is my name, and yeah, this beach is probably one of my favourite beaches.
Why?
For many reasons. I think most of the beaches here become quite busy, and this one in particular is usually a lot quieter. And so for walking dogs, maybe wanting to let the dog off the lead, to have a run, it's probably better to come here. So yeah, it's one of my favourite places.
Okay. And what about the dogs? Do they enjoy this quiet and beautiful place?
Yeah, unusually so. Not probably typical for most Huskies, but these guys like being in the water. And also not typical of Huskies, they'll swim quite a lot and they're eager to get into both the sea, and there's a river that comes out and breaks into the sea on the north side of this, and they love swimming in that. So it's one of their favourite places too. So yeah.
Are this breed great when it comes to, are they great when it comes to swimming? Because we know they're adapted to the winter. Let's say.
Yeah, I think not to judge every dog, but I think most dogs will swim, can swim, and it depends on whether they, I suppose, their experiences, whether they get to like it or not. I'd imagine it's the same as people. If you have a bad experience, you probably won't go back again to the water, but if their experience is good, I think they'll return to it again and again, especially if you're throwing something like a stick for them to catch and retrieve. So I think most dogs like to retrieve and bring back stuff they'll enjoy that.
Okay, and let's see, why a husky and not another breed? They're great dogs, but there are so many.
So husky is a general term for this type of dog. It's a collection of different maybe types of dogs. It's not necessarily a fixed breed like what would you call breeds that you would show. I'm not sure whether they can be shown as such in things like major events or what have you, but they're typically from a few different lines, and I think pedigree dogs, in my experience, we've had a variety of different experiences with pedigree dogs, and not always good in terms of health. So when we picked this dog, we knew that it was from a couple of different lines, and our hope was that we would have better luck with something that had different lines in it. So that was the reason why we ended up with this dog. This guy's the dad and this guy's the son.
Okay, they are beautiful. Now let's see. What is the greatest experience that you have had so far with these dogs, and what makes them great? The best, one of the best, let's say.
Well, I think most people who own dogs would agree that company and having a dog there pretty much, always. Like I think if you ask people about or who own dogs, probably one of the biggest issues that they have is when they go away or have to leave them, even for a day, for a week or a couple of weeks holidays. I think most people would agree that they miss their dog quite terribly, so they're eager to get back. So for a lot of people where their dog is ever present, they're always with them, I think that can be, it's quite an unusual relationship to have, but I think it's a very rewarding one. And dogs sort of, I think they give that sense of, I suppose, it's that sort of loyalty, and I think people like that.
Now, what is the greatest experience that you have had so far?
Well, 2 years ago, we ended up having 9 pups, which he sired, which wasn't something that was planned. And it, over the course of probably the following year, we, a good many people sort of took a pup from us, and we were able to share, I suppose, that legacy. And it was a very enjoyable experience because we were able to, I suppose, somebody else was going to get what we had with our dog. And I think that was probably one of the most rewarding experiences, apart from him being just a very enjoyable dog to be with and a very loyal dog, you know.
If you had to compare your relationship with these dogs, would you see it as from a friend to friend, or it's more than that?
As in people?
Yeah. So imagine your dogs will be people. Your relationship with them would be like from friend to a friend, or it's more than a friend?
I mean, it's obviously very different. And I guess that's, you know, it's an unusual relationship in terms of that, you know, it's just to have an animal. I think animals in general, I think if you like animals, it could be a horse, could be a rabbit, could be something. I think it's something that we have, that's a very natural thing, that offers a great deal of rewards. I think if you talk to somebody who has horses, I think they would be equally as exuberant about their love of horses and how they feel about them, or even birds or whatever. So I think it's just relationship with animals. Not for everybody, but I think it's a human thing. Yeah.
Okay, and what is your ikigai? What is your purpose in life? Would be dogs or?
No, I guess for me, for many years it's always been volunteering and giving. Giving of your time, I think, is something that is rewarding, and I'd like to think that people would do things for other people without expecting or asking something in return. And I think that's probably is something that can help and build community, society in general. And I think maybe because of the way that we live today, there's way more anonymity with people, with cities, and how we get up in the morning, go to work and come back. I think that society is changing, that we don't have that. I would imagine just a very normal sort of relationship between people or community.
Maybe the last question, how do we reach that level of selflessness?
I wouldn't call it selflessness. I think that it's pretty much how we evolved in terms of if we help one another, we get better at things. If you're always on your own or doing stuff on your own, then I think it's the old adage of 2 heads are better than 1. So if you help people out, the likelihood is that someone's going to help you out when you need it. Maybe not always the case, but I think that's the better conclusion, is that, you know, give freely of your time, and the likelihood is that you'll get it back.
Thanks so much. And then the last thing, what would be your message for those who like to have a husky or are in that journey of finding their ikigai, their purpose in life?
Huskies are for people who have a lot of time on their hands. I wouldn't recommend them to somebody who has to go off to work and leave them for the day. I think that would be very unfair. It wouldn't be the most rewarding relationship for the dog or the individual. So I think there are probably other dogs that are more suitable, but for people who are maybe like just outdoors in general and maybe even a bit of adventure, I think Huskies they're quite a rewarding dog, and because they're a pack animal, they love being with people, they enjoy being with people. So yeah.